Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. The XRP price continues to rise despite the criticism it has received from Bitcoin maxi trolls and other cryptocurrency bears. You know the type, they have cashew-sized brains, wear Velcro shoes and helmets, and can't even put on their own shirt in the morning without help. I was warned a couple of years ago that it was going to zero, that it was going out of the top in and then it would be at zero, and yet here it is, one of the most expensive cryptocurrencies on the entire damn planet, with a 24-hour high of 54.4 cents. After more than 2 years, we've achieved an agreement, and while I rarely say this is one of the rare times I believe the majority is correct. Because the herd tends to be mistaken on sometimes when it comes to investing in that market. However, the general consensus among crypto industry voices, both inside and outside the XRP community, has become that no, XRP is going to absolutely rocket and melt faces. This is true even if you don't look at the crowd specifically. That's the prevalent opinion, with the proviso that everything hinges on Judge Taurus rendering a favorable ruling in the SEC v. Ripple case. And please tell me there isn't even a single person on the planet who disagrees with it now. But before we go any further, let me make it perfectly clear that I'm not a financial expert, that I'm not giving you any form of financial advice, and that you should not purchase or sell anything based on what I say. Just a hobbyist here that occasionally posts films to YouTube on various crypto-related topics. In the meantime, Bitcoin, you've done well. So Bitcoin's 24-hour high of $29,988 is something I like. It's just that, in a broad sense, there are some thresholds where you can just tell, even if you're not an attorney analyst, there's going to be some sort of psychological barrier, as Live Coin Much reports. And when you're barely making it, like we saw in 2022, when you're trying to get through the 30,000 mark for the first time, it's exciting even if you're not a chart. That, of course, is a mental distinction. Analysts could advise you to do this or that, but it's hilarious how quickly you can reach the next 1,000. And just like with people, their actions are plain to see. The price action may be viewed by everyone, therefore there's no need to become an analyst. Even a score of 1,000 is possible. We might be on the verge of missing it. To be fair, it's possible that I was able to get us out of there. Humans are just being silly. However, as you can now plainly see, real currency data shows that this amount is just $31,000 short. However, as I've already mentioned, in some places the price of a Bitcoin has risen to $31,000. I think it's great, especially since Bitcoin is leaving the cryptocurrency markets. And then there's everything else. Though I will say this, I think XRP is going to absolutely rocket when we receive positive clarity in the SEC v. Ripple case, and everything else will just follow. Due to the exposure, I have an optimistic outlook on all coins. But the fact is, like it's good for XRP the most since XRP will then be the only large cap coin with regulatory clarity, even Bitcoin won't. Since Bitcoin was successful against the SEC, it's reasonable to believe that other cryptocurrencies would do so as well in the future. But it's not like all the other coins would suddenly become crystal clear by some type of wizardry. Those wars wouldn't go away, unfortunately. It's true that Congress hasn't done enough to clarify who exactly is in charge of which matters. And even then, the particular requirements were whichever government agency should be in charge, and you had to make sure that was efficiently in place. So, that's a long way off at this point. To be an XRP, however, would still be a plus. What I'm trying to communicate, holder. Additionally, the crypto fear and greed index is 68. It's pretty clear that these ladies are in full-on greed mode, as is common for female retail speculators. And check out a few of these headlines. One member of the crypto industry's BitBoy Carter predicts that XRP will soon make its backers very wealthy. I have no argument with that. I don't give out pricing forecasts. Even though I can't predict the future, I have a sneaking suspicion that everything will work out for the best if our optimistic predictions come true. When weighing the potential benefits against the potential drawbacks of investing in XRP, the decision is currently not a no-brainer. That's not to suggest there aren't any risks. Obviously, there are risks. If we get a dreadful judgment, for example, the markets could tank. The danger is mine to take. I'm willing to put myself at risk. Bitcoin crypto expert Ben Armstrong tweeted that the Ripple issue might be resolved literally any day now. When something comes to an end, it marks the start of a brand new chapter. The novelty here is that you can get wealthy simply by holding onto XRP. Russians, the army, please arrive on schedule. In any case, that's how I feel. I'll tell you what, I've had XRP in my possession for well over 5 years now. Also, by 2021, I should have had my damned Russians again. I have no doubt that XRP would have reached a new all-time high before the SEC intervened. Therefore, we have had to wait. Neither of us is to blame. Keeping XRP in 2021 isn't like we made a horrible investment. That's how I see it, at least. But I guess that's life. For XRP to even reach $2 by April of 2021 would be remarkable. It's remarkable that you managed to pull that off in the face of so much opposition and doubt. Even with diminished self-assurance, that kind of performance demonstrates what you're capable of. That, with the headline you gave me today, is quite the package. That's a great headline, by the way. Leading cryptocurrency investor outlines why XRP could lead altcoins to the afterlife. One news trader, who goes by the handle Tree of Alpha, recently tweeted that the best news for crypto traders right now would be a favorable decision on the status of XRP. Moreover, the SEC's case against Ripple. According to the trader, the other top 300 cryptocurrencies will follow XRP to cryptocurrency heaven if it is determined that XRP is not a security. Again, it's just something that's generally accepted as true. Even conventional wisdom might be off the mark at times. Just plain bullshit. However, the clarity of this situation makes that impossible. I wasn't familiar with this analyst, but I'm guessing they had more than 150,000 Twitter followers. Henrik Zetterberg, a legendary trader, recently shared his thoughts on the state of the cryptocurrency industry, and his XRP price prediction called for tremendous development. According to him, XRP is poised for rapid expansion in the not-too-distant future, and he believes that XRP-based cryptocurrencies are on the cusp of a major breakout. As a result, I'm not going to read every single one of these articles. It's getting at the bigger picture. This is obvious to everyone. Also, this is something that has been widely published on many crypto media outlets. You can find a wide variety of articles in this, regardless of the medium you choose. This is one of the rare instances where I find myself saying, yeah, we all can see this. It's blatantly clear. And now it seems like the time has come when it will actually occur. And then there was this, again from Cointelegraph, there are other things that play primarily with Bitcoin, and this is great. Bitcoin has been raging as of late, although it has pulled back slightly from its recent high of $31,000 to its current value of $30,345 as I write this. This is by no means a disastrous situation, but it is important to remember that the price of Bitcoin does not rise in a straight line forever. Having said that, it is comforting to know that the future of XRP will be illuminated at this juncture. And almost certainly. That's how I see it working out, anyway. Being an XRP at the moment is both one of the most exhilarating and one of the most nerve-wracking experiences possible. Because you can't be absolutely sure, just as I can't be absolutely sure. And you know it's hazardous, the market could react negatively to any news, sending the price of XRP down. In fact, it might. But I don't think that's the way things are going to work out. The market price may fall, but there are always good bargains to be found. But in any case, look at this. The price of Bitcoin on Bitstamp just reached $30,035, according to data compiled by Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView, marking a new 10-month high. BTC/USD is the pair in question, and it showed steady gains the day prior, following a consolidation Tory period. They predicted, or perhaps I predicted, that we would enter a phase of Tory consolidation about the time that fresh U.S. macroeconomic data prints become available. Both the CPI and PPI readings showed faster than anticipated deceleration in inflation, adding fuel to the positive risk asset narrative. Although Bitcoin did not instantly respond, the most recent rise has strengthened the beliefs of market participants that Bitcoin will continue to strengthen and break its long-term decline. Inflation is therefore not quite where you'd like it to be, But it's trending in the correct direction, and Bitcoin is reacting favorably. Things aren't looking too bad in the SEC v. Ripple lawsuit. And then this happened, so now we have a pair of stories from the recent Daily Huddle covering material from Dan Tapio. Thank you, Dan Tapio, who manages a prominent cryptocurrency investment fund. We discussed his remarks on April 9 and again yesterday. I'll only quote a few of them here, but you should know that I agree with them in principle. In addition, I remember seeing him in an interview well over a year ago. Regarding the SEC v. Ripple case, I think he has a fairly balanced view. He isn't an XRP cheerleader, but he seems to understand the bigger picture. And he agrees there is a lack of clarity in crypto regulations. And everything he said is correct. In fact, I was just talking about it a minute ago. In other words, even if the outcome of the SEC case favors Ripple and XRP investors, it won't clarify anything for the rest of the coin. It's possible that the markets might rise on the assumption that we are winning the war and making progress. It might be far more serious. What's so fascinating about it? Well, let's imagine that Ripple ultimately loses. In that case, we can safely declare that the game is ended. There's no point in arguing, it's okay now. The SEC's attempt to expand its authority by acquiring new territories has thus far been successful. If Ripple is successful, however, it could feel like things are improving. Personally, I don't think it is, either. However, it is more like you're stopping the decline, as it provides no further clarification for any currency besides XRP. That's exactly my point. This would be a huge triumph for the crypto community as a whole. Of course, that's okay. I'm just saying it wouldn't provide us the clarity we need for the records if that were the case. I possess around 30 different cryptocurrencies, so it's natural for me to be concerned about which ones may be next on the SEC's hit list. I'm curious as to what further measures the SEC plans to take to undermine my financial security. I guess I'm just wondering. Now, Dan Tampere runs a business empire known as 10T Holdings. As well as being upbeat. Part of the reason I feel it's important to discuss this is that, from the perspective of a near-term investor, it echoes something I've been saying for years, that, at some point, the market capitalization of cryptocurrencies will reach $1 trillion, and then several trillion, and then tens of trillions. As a result, we reached $1 trillion first, and then we surpassed $3 trillion. The market is volatile, so it naturally fell again. Zones in the market cycle have value, of course. To me, it's evident that cryptocurrency is the best way to generally amass unimaginable wealth, and the next thing I mentioned years ago is still going to happen. It'll end up in the tens of trillions of dollars. I have no doubt in my mind about it, it is what it is. This means that it is still on its way. The only uncertainty is how that will play out. Many coins will undoubtedly fail. However, I felt it was important to relay some of these responses to you. I'm going to quote briefly from two pieces again. The first is from April 9 and contains mostly quotable passages, and the second is only a day or so newer, from yesterday. This one, meanwhile, was headlined "Institutional Interest in Bitcoin and Crypto Really Picking Up," according to macro investor Dan Tapio. And so I just really enjoy hearing it straight from the horse's mouths. Hedge fund managers and traders are the first line in communicating with institutional investors. They are able to sense the direction of the crypto industry since they always have their finger on the pulse. What he stated is encouraging, too. To restate, he is a founding partner of DEFY Financial T. "This is really picking up," he remarked, and he cited a quote from that. You would be shocked. People who have never dealt with Bitcoin before are suddenly becoming interested because they heard or saw something like, "Oh, well, Bitcoins are up 70% on the year or 30% during this banking crisis." This is especially true in the last 6 weeks. And you know what, that does make some sense, and in that universe, they probably didn't even need a bailout. Even though there are some unsavory characters, you'll find a wealth of useful resources and exciting activities. In the DeFi community, there are stablecoin enterprises. Even end quote, Bitcoin has a wide variety of NFTs ordinary features. That's why I enjoy looking out windows. It gives me another item to keep in mind. In the sense of look, it's me, we all do this, right? Even in 2022, when the bear market was at its worst, Did anyone seriously believe that institutional investors wouldn't make a comeback? Of course, it's the same as with regular people who speculate. It just goes in cycles. It's just a matter of when. In addition, according to macro specialist Dan Tapuro, Bitcoin's price will explosively rise to between $300,000 and $500,000, and he explains why in today's edition of the Daily Huddle. I don't make price forecasts, but when you say $500,000 for Bitcoin, I don't think it's out of the question. But at some time in the future, that doesn't sound completely crazy to me. You're talking about more than 19.3 million out of a total of 21 million Bitcoins if Bitcoin were in full circulation, which is a bit less than I recall having mined. I don't know, but it's probably close to that. The point is that if all Bitcoins were worth $500,000 each, the entire cryptocurrency market would be valued over $100 trillion. This is assuming, of course, that Bitcoin's price will remain stable at its current level. That makes sense to me, at least for the foreseeable future. It's simply that we're at the very early stages right now, and that's what's causing all the buzz. And that's why you're probably listening to this and feeling the same way I do. We're still in an early enough stage where the enthusiasm stems from, and we get the multiplier effect. If you're talking about an asset class that could go from $1 trillion to $100 trillion, then you'd better believe it. Also, this doesn't always indicate a growth in investment value by a factor of 100, which would still be great. However, the effect would likely be far larger than 100 for tiny coins like XRP. For the coins that have less money in the Bitcoin in terms of the multiplier impact, if you're talking about that kind of maturity, even if it's decades in the future, like coins other than Bitcoin would benefit greatly from this. In any case, Dan Tap, a macro investor and fund manager, has doubled down on his original prediction that Bitcoin might reach $500,000 in value. Yarrow predicts that the overall market cap for cryptocurrencies will expand 30x in 2019 and reach $10 trillion, prompting him to name his crypto investment company 10T in a recent interview with Scott Milker Tap. And that's why I think it's so funny. On the surface, the name seems dumb, like 10T. But after a while, you see that it's actually pretty neat. The same thing was expected of me, and I even explained it all on my YouTube channel. At the time, I was unaware of who he was. I had the same thought process. Yeah, why wouldn't it at some point at that? But I can't say for sure what the future holds. If that guarantees Bitcoin's dominance in terms of market capitalization, then count myself among the Bitcoin holders. The prospect doesn't really excite me. My go-to cryptocurrency is XRP. And if I could only have one cryptocurrency in my possession, it would be XRP for many reasons that I've discussed on the channel for a long time. But certainly, if Bitcoin remains at the top and we reach the $10 trillion market cap I anticipate, that will be great, given the breadth of my investment in the sector. Anyway, the truce holds, and he maintains his faith in the accuracy of his forecast. And the value of a single Bitcoin will fluctuate between $30,005 and $100,000. Once global market cap reaches $10 trillion, my prediction has been that the value in the space, which was $300 billion in the middle of 2019, will increase by a factor of 30 to reach chip $10 trillion. Because of this, I referred to the first three funds as TIN-T, an acronym for $10 trillion. So I named that investment vehicle after my prediction for the industry's future expansion. If the digital asset ecosystem is worth $10 trillion, as I estimate it is, then Bitcoin should be somewhere between $300,000 and $500,000, which is roughly where I anticipate it to settle. That's what I thought in 2019, and it's still what I think in 2019. Yeah, that may be conservative in the long run, but it makes sense in the near and medium term. As you can see, the market capitalization peaked when crypto was still a relatively new asset class. Again, I remember the exact point at which it peaked, but suffice it to say that it was far above $3 trillion. If you're here, you'll recall that it was more than $3 trillion. Even if all the money in the world was invested in cryptocurrency, it would only boost the current total by a factor of 3 to reach $10 trillion. As usage grows, what do you anticipate will occur? Because of this is how I partially view the situation. It all relies on how much money is going to keep coming in, and I'm guessing that demand will only go up. Okay, there will be a lot of up and down. I'm referring to the general rising trend, not the inevitable up and down cycles. Anyway, time will tell, but I feel very confident about my abilities. Please don't think of me as a financial advisor. Nothing I say should influence your buying or selling decisions. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.